Hey YouTube, welcome to my channel, Bannerman's Camp. For those of you who the algorithm sent here because of you're interested in SUV camping and camper conversions and car camping in general, welcome. I'll just let you know that the Big Steel Tent series, of which this video is part, actually comes about as my efforts at building out a 2002 Toyota 4Runner as an adventure vehicle, as an SUV camper, and a mobile video production facility. The the thrust of the Bannerman's Camp channel has to do with the history of camping gear from 1890 to about 1989, as well as classic camping living history, where we'll go out and we'll camp in the style of the 1920s and the 1930s using 1920s and 1930s equipment or reproductions thereof. And there's a lot of videos on the channel that are on the channel now or will be coming. My regular viewers kind of tolerate this little eccentricity of mine where I also chronicle the Big Steel Tent and how I have built it up. The video you're about to see shows where we are at the end state of the latest rebuild of the Big Steel Tent. At the end of the video, I will post a link to a playlist, and it should show up here. The thumbnail will look like this up here. Don't click on this one right now. At the end of the video, click on that. You'll be able to see all of the videos that references a lot of the stuff I'm about to talk about here in this video. Now we're going to start out with how I have packed the stuff I showed in the last video, which is the solar and electric power stations that I use when out in the field. I have a little bit more than most folks would because my stays may be longer, and I use my computer, which sucks up a lot of electricity. I use that a whole lot. Okay, let's take a look at how I have fixed up the power, and if you want to see what all that stuff is, go back to the playlist and take a look. Okay, so here is the entire solar system and the backup power packed. Over here, don't know if you can see it, slightly off of frame, is the jumper cables, the Vitoman 1000. Right now, for just the time being, the Starlink is set here. These are the two Vitoman 120 watt panels. This is the tent. That's the small hatchback tent. I've also got a larger room size screen tent, and this stack here are the Renogy panels. The two 200 watt panels are on top. The 400 watt panel is on the bottom because it's the heaviest. And back in here is the tripod for the Starlink. 5 years ago, you wouldn't be able to get this much solar into an SUV. Okay, now, one thing I'll tell you about that setup there. It'll be more compact when it's packed with other stuff. And generally speaking, I will arrive at a campsite on a Friday evening. And in this time of year, it starts to get dark, so I need to see up under there. And I'll just show you. I got two of these Ozark Trail tent lamps. I don't know if you can Yeah, there you go. It's got magnets on the back, and I have taken some outlet plate covers and screwed them to the underside of my bed so that I can see what I'm doing when I arrive at the campsite at night. Okay, now, one of the big changes in the big steel tent that others who have been watching the series have noticed is that in the past, I had set up my kitchen and stuff in the back using wooden crates like this as my kitchen cabinets. And I had been using the hinged cover for closing it off and as a table when the cover pulls out. But I don't know if you can see it. You can see it broke here. The construction was not good, looked great. Here's what it looks like. And I will tell you that we went from this to this. This is what's called U-Cube, U-B-E, Cube, C-U-B-E. They're a little expensive, but they work great. A little bit better than the standard milk crate that you can go and snag out of the back of the Kroger if you really want to commit larceny. Let me show you what we've done back here. These are sturdy. They're not going anywhere. I got them strapped down to the table, but let me show you something here that I have done to make sure we don't get the same problem we had with those other cheap wooden crates. And there we go. I've got this pull-out here that supports the crates a whole lot better than they did on that wooden one. I've got actual pull-out shelving. I can put things in, take it out, put it on a table. All of my cooking gear is over here. My cleaning and extra cookware is here. Food is here. Dishes are here. I've got another thing that we will show you up front. Now, we don't have any of the electronics in here, okay? I made that tight on purpose. When I'm going camping, the cooler will occupy this spot. The Delta will occupy this area. This area in between will be my folding tables and folding chair. Over here, when I bring the air conditioner, when I bring the Wave 3, it will occupy this space. My neighbors are driving their cars. This is the alternator charger. That's the emergency backup to the backup for keeping the Delta charged. That's over here. I've got a fan up here, a little USB fan. That's part of the passive cooling system that we've got that will work during the day. This is our daytime configuration. I didn't show the little tent thing, little hatchback cover that I've got. And there will be a hook here for a light, and we'll show you that another light, just like that light will hang here, giving light to this whole area here, which is where all the cooking and stuff will be going on. But what this fan does is it draws air from inside the vehicle and pushes it out. I've got another fan up front, and we'll show you what that does. Okay, let's test the light from the back. Let's see, we're going to do the remote. Let's turn the light on. Let's turn the light to the high beam. Let's turn the light off. Let's turn the fan on. Let's turn it to the low fan. Least amount of power. High fan. Going great guns. Turn the fan off. Okay, there you go. There's the kitchen and the storage up front. And as far as storage is concerned, if you look at the past videos in the playlist, you'll see I've got this set up so that I have storage underneath the bed for the entire length of the vehicle. Okay, from the front of the vehicle all the way to the rear. I have taken out the passenger side in the front. Okay, I got lots of storage now. As far as the big steel tent, you ask yourself, why do I call it the big steel tent? There's science behind that, okay? In that the design of any good tent allows for adequate ventilation to get rid of your body moisture that you will aspirate while you are inside. And it is of a sufficient size that you can at least sit up in it if you are confined inside for any length of time. Okay, that's what makes a good tent. This one's made out of steel. The other thing that we designed it for, and the ventilation is a big part of that, is I live in Texas. And that means for almost 10 months out of the year, my primary concern is cooling. It's keeping it cool inside. Even as late as November, it can get hot inside the tent during the late afternoon. And if I'm going to be inside working on the computer or anything like that, I've got to have some way of cooling it. I do have the Wave 3 air conditioner, but that uses a lot of power, and I only use it when I absolutely need to. So most of it is set up around passive cooling. Okay, you saw the fan in the back. You saw the fan that is hanging underneath the moonroof. The idea there is I am drawing air into the vehicle and out the back. Okay, I have constant air movement. It also helps with ventilation and pulling the moisture out. I also do that along the sides of the vehicle. Let's do a walk around. I'll show that to you. Okay, this is more of the passive cooling system. This is mosquito netting. Okay, and I'll open up the door here to show you. Maybe I'll have to move you. Some bad video here. It goes around the door, so there's mosquito netting on both sides, so that if there's any gaps, mosquitoes won't get through. There's also a slight airspace in here. Okay, we'll keep the temperature of the air will lower as it enters the vehicle because it is being drawn from the front, going out the back. Little bit seems to enjoy it. You having a good time? You having a good time? You want to get out? No, we'll get over on the other side. You can't get out here. It's too high. Okay, let's look in the back of the vehicle on the driver's side. And we'll let a little bit get out. And we'll get you a little bit closer. Okay, you can see our curtains up here. And if you look over here, you can see the light that will provide interior illumination for the vehicle. We will come out here later and show you what it looks like when we're inside with the curtains down and getting ready for bed. Okay, well there you go. That's the outside and kind of an initial introduction to the place where those of you who have been following the progress of the big steel tent will see where the most changes have been, and that is within the interior of the tent. I've gotten the form and function and layout of the big, after 2 years, I've got the layout of the big steel tent where I want it. Okay, with the bed on the passenger side all the way to the forward, with another table that comes back 90 degrees to that, kitchen in the back, all that kind of good stuff, the hatchback tent and everything like that, everything on the outside, the solar, the power, everything. I'm happy with that now. Now we're making changes to the interior, kind of making it a little bit pretty and a little bit more functional for the purposes of traveling. Okay, I have two basic modes for the big steel tent. One is when I go out to the national forest and I close to home here, and I shoot video for the channel. Okay, I do that boondocking. I'm boondocking in the national forest, and I can just park and I can walk around in my underwear if I want to. I don't video that part. Sorry to disappoint you. But the other thing I will do is travel to living history events. I'm going to one here in 2 weeks up in Ohio, which is why I'm finishing up the big steel tent now. But that involves stays at KOA or in the parking lot of a Cracker Barrel or Walmart, things like that. Okay, quick overnight stays. Okay, but that also means that people can see inside the big steel tent. That's where the big change is. I have made it so that people will not be able to see my splendiferous, although aged, body while I'm changing my clothes. So let's take a look at what it looks like when I'm inside trying to be a private person. Okay, a little bit and I are in bed. We're getting ready to bed down for the night. Privacy screens are down all the way around, and I'll just let you know that the windows are down and the bug screens are on the windows. So I am getting air coming in from the sides. I'm getting air pulled down through the moonroof. The fan is up front. We'll show that to you here in a second. And the fan is running, so we're pulling air and pushing it out the back. Here's my light. Let's just say I'm done reading, don't need my light anymore. And we'll turn the camera around here in a second to show you what we're going to do with this. This, permanently attached, semi-permanently attached with Velcro to the screen, is the remote control for the fan. So I can turn on a night light. Okay, so now that can stay on all night long. It's running off of the Delta and it's only pulling about 2 or 3 watts. Okay, then let's say I'm ready to go to bed and I want to put my camera away in a place where it will charge. So I have a pocket here for the camera, or for the phone, and a USB cable I can plug in so it will charge all night. And then I can go to sleep. I can do Betty by clicking this off, and you might even be able to see the the light of the amber glow. Let's turn this on, and I'll give you a tour around the tent so that you can see how well these privacy screens work with the lights on. Okay, here we are standing at the back of the vehicle. Of course, when we're camping, we will have our little hatchback cover on here, and that will be zipped shut. But as we walk around, you can see there is not much light coming out of the inside of the vehicle when I've got those privacy screens down. And the bug net is still on the windows. Yeah, just enough open there to make the pretty girls curious, I think. But I can scratch my butt and nobody will know it. Okay, well, there you go. There's the big steel tent as she stands right now. We will be going out into the woods in a couple of days to do some testing and to film some classic camping videos. Got some nice recipes coming for you, and I'm testing an old stove. Getting ready to go to Sean Dyer's squirrel hunting camp. So stick around for that. There will be a big steel tent component to all of that filming that I'll be doing. And we'll also be doing some filming on the trip up and back the big steel tent to show how I use it while I'm traveling, as opposed to how I use it when I'm going to spend a couple of days sitting in the woods in my underwear. We'll see you down the trail.